The landscapes of our lives are for learning, where experience is our teacher. When we gather together to share our resources, we are destined to love and thrive.
Hey, good morning, Maureen.
Good morning, Pierre.
Oh, we're going to talk about, oh, excuse me. We're going to talk about, we have this podcast, Mind, Body, Spirit, and we're going to jump into spirit a little bit.
Okay. Talk about C.S. Lewis.
We're going to talk about C.S. Lewis, Clive Staples Lewis.
What a great name.
It is a great name. And then the CS and everything. He's such an interesting guy. I'm taking a course on him right now, and he was an atheist, and he's known as one of the best explainers and believers of Christianity. So what I find interesting is that he thought his way to Christianity, which is, I mean, when you meditate on that or think about that, gosh, how do you do that? I think most people know him through his children's books, right? Chronicles of Narnia. I wouldn't.
The Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe. Yeah.
And they're not really children's books, are they?
He used to have I know he's old. I mean, we're going back, so he's kind of old. We're kind of old, but I know he had a radio show. Didn't he have a radio show? Wasn't he known for that too?
Oh, he had the most listened to radio show during the radio age, which would have been the 1930s. He was the most listened to broadcaster other than Winston Churchill. He's British. He went to Oxford. He was a member of the Socratic Society. He was part of this group called the Inklings. It was a literary group, and J.R. Tolkien was in that group as well. And he did these radio broadcasts about Christianity. And
Tolkien was a big influence on him, I think, too. Didn't they used to correspond, and they were in that group together, and
right, they were at Oxford together. And as a matter of fact, it was while he was an atheist that it was a walk in the woods with Tolkien and this other guy. I don't remember his name, but part of that literary group, that they challenged him to consider Christianity a little bit more deeply, because he was very much a person who liked the hero saga. And these guys are literary people. They're telling stories. So, the epic tale and, the legends of, Arthur and Knights of the Round Table and all these different legends. And they're so compelling, where you have hardship and then you have salvation and all this sort of stuff.
The underworld. And Joseph Campbell, the hero with 1,000 faces, he wrote a lot. He's known for that, the hero archetype and all that.
Right. Love Joseph Campbell. And so anyway, he just didn't apply that to Christianity. And on this walk, they challenged him. Oh, you like it everywhere else. You just don't like it with Christianity. What's going on?
Cool.
And that got into him. And it started this thought process. Like, why is it that I don't like it when it comes? It's great for storytelling and believable, and I like it, but I can't accept it in this one form. And what was the problem for him was, when he grew up Christian, basically, and I think Christianity has changed. Certainly it's changed. We've had centuries of it, from Crusades to Protestants versus Catholics to, all kinds of things. And during the 20th century, when he was living, there's a lot of institutionalized religion, and it just so happened that everybody else's religion was wrong, but Christianity was the right one,
Yeah.
right?
That
Like,
attitude. Yeah.
right. So all these other tales, pagan tales and other religious tales, are all wrong.
Mhm.
Nothing good about them. And that made him a non-believer,
Yeah. I don't
right?
blame
How could this be?
exclusionary.
And but then he started to see that this was institutionalized religion
And
and
dogmatic, the dogmatics of it. Yeah.
dogmatic. And this is where that challenge during the walk in the woods, like, well, what about the story? What about the center and the heart of this? Is this a true story or not? And the way he got there,
I thought it was mere, I know he wrote Mere Christianity and the problem of pain, which was about, didn't he lose his wife? Did that derail him? Was that after he already had kind of converted, kind of, or was that one of the reasons why?
no, I think his conversion was earlier than that. I think it was in his late 20s. It wasn't all that early,
Okay.
but boy, you're really on it. Yes, he wrote um, these books around Christianity: Surprised by Joy, The Weight of Glory, The Problem of Pain, and this one, which kind of started things off, Right and Wrong,
Mm.
a clue to the meaning of the universe.
Mm.
Think about that title.
Yeah,
Right and Wrong, a clue to the meaning of the universe.
guess he believes the universe is moral.
Oh, snap, Maureen.
Well, morality, right? Yeah.
You're just on it. You're just on it. And that's how he got himself to thinking it. He
Mm.
said that morality is universal. It doesn't have to be proved. And if you have this subjective morality, then it's not a morality. If you have like to explain and figure it all out, no, underneath all of that relates to two French words, and I'll just bring them up and then turn it over to you. Connaître and savoir. So in French, you use the term savoir to know if you've learned it, if you have kind of obtained the knowledge. And you use connaître, it's sort of like an experiential knowing. So you wouldn't say, use savoir to say, I know Maureen. No, you connaître, you like have this relationship, understanding of Maureen. And that's what he says. This understanding, we all humans have a fundamental understanding of what morality is, what right and wrong is.
Mhm.
And then from there, he just created a framework of thought and logic to the morality of the universe, and therefore a God. And I would say, therefore, a God is really a choice. You can just simply say there's a universe and it works a certain way and leave it at that, and be agnostic, or you can make a choice and say, no, I think I'll just believe that there's a God behind all of this, and go that way.
Yeah.
So
I
I'll
came
turn it over to
across C.S. Lewis when I was in college, and you were saying earlier that like he sort of got there through thinking his way towards God or whatever. Uh,
right.
and I think I was introduced to him in the context of the Thomas Aquinas, and so, reason and faith, that whole paradigm.
Right.
So, and I just remember loving reading his books, and especially the Screw Tape Letters. And the problem of pain was probably my introduction to, really contemplating my own mortality. I was probably 19, 20, and really, like following him in his pain of the loss of his wife, and and probably there was some stoicism mixed in there, but
Yeah.
really, yeah, that first introduction to sort of pain, which I thought was awesome and deep. But I really loved C.S. Lewis. And then when my kids were born, I made sure I got the Chronicles of Narnia, like before all the movies came out and everything. Like,
Right.
so, and they definitely, those stories, The Lion, Witch, and Wardrobe, are very Tolkien-esque in
For
the
sure.
way that there's the Christian morality and the undertones there, and the Christ figures and so forth. And,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
my son Jack loved them, and then ended up loving Tolkien, and that was his whole journey. But I was going to say the morality part too, it made me think, and maybe this is something that we can talk about in a future episode about Jonathan Haidt. He's a moral psychologist and studies social and moral psychology from NYU. I believe he's at NYU, but he wrote The Righteous Mind: Why Good People Are Divided by Politics and Religion, and the Happiness Hypothesis, which is about finding modern truth in ancient wisdom. But just C.S. Lewis and that moral piece reminded me just to bookmark that with Jonathan Haidt, and maybe we can do.
Let's do that. Let's
Yeah.
absolutely do that. You
Yeah.
mentioned screw tape letters, and it's worth saying a word about that. These are letters from the devil instructing his nephew, my dear Wormwood, and pointing out how human behavior doesn't really comport with what they say, and what they do is completely different. And lots of humor in that. It reminded me of a book that I just thoroughly enjoyed by Mark Twain. It's called Letters from the Earth. It was banned from it was a banned book in the United States for, I don't know, like,
Not surprised it was Twain. Yeah.
yeah, Mark Twain. And it's the same thing. And the devil goes down to earth and writes letters back to somebody. Maybe it's God or something. And he goes, it's just the most remarkable place. I mean, people think that when you go to heaven, you play harps and then listen to beautiful music, but nobody practices down here.
Yeah, Twain was great for pointing out human hypocrisy. I love Mark Twain.
Where is our Mark Twain today?
Yeah, he's the original American humorist. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'm contemplating embarking on reading his autobiography, which he refused to have published, I think, for 100 years. So
Yeah.
maybe it came out in the 1990s or something. So it's massive and it's kind of wandering, but I'm thinking about it. So let's see how that goes. But anyway, C.S. Lewis, just wanted to commend that to people's attention, and bring up the two sides of him as a creative with the Chronicles of Narnia, and then as I guess the word is apologist.
Apologist, yeah.
Yeah. Writing about morality and in a very serious way.
Right, maybe theology, right? He's on that philosophy theology line there. Yeah. Yep. I'm glad it's a blast from the past. Brought me back to college days. Yeah, I love it.
Nice. Thanks, Maureen. Love talking to you. I'm Pierre from Yoga Heals.
And Maureen from Landscapes for Learning.
Is there going to be a live to learn?
Live to learn. No, I'll learn to live and then live to learn.
I know. Yeah. I
live to learn.
I love your tagline, because it's what we're doing and everything like that. I know you love my tagline. So, peace through grace, everybody. Peace through grace.